Welcome back.
Welcome back. This week, I want to talk about...
Wait.
What?
I got to talk to them first.
Okay.
So I learned that we need your help. We know nothing about podcasting or YouTubing or any of that.
Well, we've been doing it for a long time, but...
We have, and we still know nothing about it, which is impressive. But one thing I just learned was, because we are not doing this for any money, we are not doing this for anything, but we are doing this to reach people who maybe can be helped because of what we went through. We need your help in doing that. And it's a very simple thing I learned. If you guys leave a review on Spotify or Apple or whatever platform you're listening, if you leave a review about it...
Actual words
that are good.
Yeah, no bad reviews. If you
hate us, needed. What are you doing?
Yeah, those are
listening to this right now. That's weird. But anyway, many of you have written to Heather and unbelievable. It's awesome. We read them all. It's so cool. And you don't have to necessarily be that specific or vulnerable in the review. But when you do leave a review, their AI or whatever tends to recommend it more to other people looking for similar things. If you don't leave a review, it doesn't go to anybody. I just learned this. And we have a lot of people listening, which is awesome. We have a lot of people watching on YouTube. And that's awesome. But if you don't leave a review for us, it doesn't get to the people who need to maybe listen to it, just like you found that you're maybe enjoying this crap for some reason. I don't know.
So if you go to an episode that you like and leave a review, that's really helpful for us. So give it 5 stars.
Oh, it's an episode?
I think it's just the episode. Yeah. So okay.
Okay, so we're going to need you to go to all 190 episodes. 193 episodes and leave a review on each of those, please. It'll take you a few months, but I think you can push through it. Matter of fact, copy and paste. That works too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a favor that we are asking. So please do that.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you talking about?
We'll remind you again. We're going to talk about protecting yourself in conversations about that cancer is involved in. So, as many of you know, we do this podcast kind of in real time. We're generally doing an episode, and Lauren, thank you, Lauren, is putting it up almost within 24 hours a lot of times. So, one of the things that just happened is that Shannon Doherty died this last week, just a couple days ago. And
for those people who don't live in America or didn't watch TV in the 80s, who is she?
Well, she's I think her name was Brenda on 90210, Beverly Hills 90210. She's it was a huge show. I didn't watch it for that. I didn't watch her for that, but I have been following her in the last couple of years because Shannon did choose to say, I have metastatic breast cancer. And even Olivia Newton-John and some of the other people who have died of breast cancer, they never really talked about it being late stage 4 or metastatic. And I think, I'm so appreciative to Shannon for having real conversations. And she did a podcast. She was doing a podcast too about living with cancer. And I really appreciate everything that she did. And I think many people looked up to her, right? And, but it's a blow. It's a blow to the community when somebody who
has a voice
dies.
Yeah.
And so I just want to talk a little bit about how protecting yourself. This week, especially in America, there's a lot going on right now, right? There is a lot going on. And I just want to say, it's okay to take a step back. This might not be something that you can deal with everything right now. you might need a break from social media, from the news, from all of those things. But I think it's a time to kind of check in with yourself, and does the anxiety feel like it's rising? Does, take some time to think about like what that means to you, I guess, in terms of maybe you don't know, Shannon, and it's no big deal. And that's absolutely fine. Right? But I think what I have learned over the years is that processing the death of kind of people in our community is really hard.
It's what it's what really honestly stopped you from going out and doing speaking full time. It's what got you out of chat rooms or in the beginning groups.
Yeah.
For that reason right there. Yeah. It was, I don't necessarily really want to get to know all of these people on that level. Yeah. Because statistics say they're not going to be here long.
Well, and even that.
And I'm not going to be here long.
Yeah. I think, so this is the thing, is that when somebody like Shannon dies, it brings self-doubt. It brings doubt in all of us, right? Yes. Like, she had all these things, or she, like, she looked like she was doing so great. It's scary. It makes you doubt yourself, right? And it's really hard. And I don't know what the right way to deal with somebody from our community dying, but I'm telling you, maybe there isn't a right way except what works for you. But you don't have to be fully engulfed all the time, right?
So, and because honestly, the truth is this happens every day.
Yeah.
Not to a star, but somebody from the metastatic community, yes. Many people probably.
30, right now they're saying 31 people.
31 people a day are passing away. And I think it's okay to some extent to ignore that.
Yeah.
I think it's okay from some extent to go all in on that.
Yeah.
I think both extremes on that are okay if it works for you. And
depending,
but floundering in the middle is sometimes hard.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just asking you to think about it and recognize it. If it is bringing anxiety and, fearfulness, then maybe it's a step back. If it's bringing anger and you want to step in, then that's a whole nother conversation, right? Like, I have had some friends personally, like, my all-time friends who are now dealing with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. And that just makes me mad. It makes me really mad that we are still chopping off breast at the earliest stages. It seems...
In 2024.
In 2024. Mm-hmm. And I cannot even tell you how infuriated I am also to think we would never do that to a man. We'd never be like, dude, just take your balls off. We're good. It'll be fine. Like anything. What else can we do? What else can we do? So we need to do something, like, for all people with breast cancer, right? And we need to demand more. But I don't want you to think, as somebody, when you are in the thick of it, when you are maybe not feeling great yourself, when it's not your job to fight. It's not
your job. It's not your role.
It's not, no. And again, it comes back to that whole philosophy that we've talked about so much, about taking care of yourself first and thinking about it like in the long term. It's the sprint versus marathon analogy. So take care of yourself now so that you can be hopefully here for the marathon, and maybe down the road be angry with some of us who are healthier, or I don't even know if healthier is the right word, but
yeah,
it's really challenging. So when I think about other cancer conversations, I think about like well-meaning people, and this again will come up right now, like, oh, so-and-so, my aunt was this, and then she died, And just,
Or this is what would have happened back then. Is somebody finds out you have cancer.
mm-hmm.
Oh, I just saw that girl from 90210 just died of that.
Yes.
They got to bring that up.
Yes.
And that does nothing to
Exactly.
our forward mentality of
It's hurtful.
of working on making ourselves as healthy as we can. That does nothing good.
Right.
So.
And so with that too, I mean, again, if you need to just walk away, walk away.
Yeah.
If you are feeling a little more empowered, you could say that's really hard for me to hear. You know, we can gauge some of these things and do what we can do with them, right?
Yep.
And then that also leads me into the whole, going back to the terminology about fighting, right? Because we would never say that Shannon lost her battle with heart disease, right? But we would say that she lost her battle with breast cancer. Right?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people disagree with you.
Okay.
And everything out, you can go to the whatever the breast cancer frickin' site is. What does that mean? Breast cancer.
I don't know. NBCC?
NBC. Yeah, I think what. And there'll be fight on its main page.
Yeah.
It is part of the lingo. What you don't like is what it stands for. But then again, you've used it. You've used it a lot of their fighting. You've used that word. And other people use that word not in a negative context. In a context that I'm not going to lay in my bed and die. I'm going to do something about it.
Right.
That's the context they're coming from. In my opinion, no one, you know, so... Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to fight. It's another thing to say that you lost.
Well, we do lose.
Right.
That is reality.
Yeah.
That's life. I've lost a lot in everything that I've done. And it's part of reality. We're all dying.
I agree with that. I don't agree with...
I'm not going to lose my fight with life when I die. I get that part.
Right.
But when there is a specific disease involved, any disease involved, people do choose to check out. They choose to not do anything and check out.
No, I agree with that.
They're not fighting. Okay? That's the context I'm coming from. Where somebody else decides to do something about it. Whether that be medically, physically, nutritionally, spiritually, all of those areas. I think they're fighting, but people lose fights.
Right.
I just don't see it as a bad thing in my world.
Yeah.
But I do understand what you're talking. I understand both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about it and I go, like, I will be happy to say that I am going to kill cancer. Like, that I'm killing cancer.
Yeah.
But that's not the same as fighting to me. It's strong language, but it's also like the direction is at a cancer cell. It's not at me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get that.
So killing cancer, heck yeah, let's all kill cancer. But the fight part, I think,
is because if you die, are you a loser?
Well,
no, I get that.
Right. No, and it's not
no
just
one would
that.
Ever say
but
that.
No, I know. But I think the other thing that comes with that is and maybe it should be more on the other side too. And I just keep using heart disease because I know it is a number one killer, right? We don't challenge somebody with heart disease. We don't say, "What are you doing? What are you doing about that?" In the same way that we do it with cancer.
I don't think you have necessarily been all encompassed in the heart disease world like you have in the cancer world.
Do you think you would say to somebody with heart disease, like, Have you? I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't say that anyway. But
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that to anyone with
Right.
anything because I've learned from you. I'm not stupid. But I think there's as many changes to people's lifestyle of someone with heart disease as with cancer. The exceptions are the surgeries. So when we talk about all those other the changes you need to make, I mean, you need to completely change your diet. You need to do all those things. Yes, some of them need heart transplants and valves. They need the surgeries too. So don't yell at me if you're a heart disease person. But it's more when we talk about specifically breast cancer being a sexual organ, that is just completely different. It's completely different.
Yeah, I guess I don't know because I mean, I can only speak as somebody who's had breast cancer and had people, actually ask me like what I'm doing, like to fight it versus.
Well, the person with heart disease that's not doing anything is dead. They're dead. They're going
I
to
just
die.
don't know that we're putting the same. I don't know if society puts the same expectation on them. Like, do people gather around a person with heart disease and say, we're going to fight this?
Well, they should. It's the number one fucking killer in America.
I know. Oh, wow. Now
Maybe we need to do that more.
Well, maybe.
And put some onus on them to fight more. Get off your ass and eat right.
Woo! I don't know.
I don't either. I think we can. So here's the problem. Especially from a guy's standpoint. A guy can never... a guy has to be very careful when trying to mansplain or that shit. Because I can never put myself in your shoes.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can get cancer. But it's not breast cancer. I can get breast cancer too, but it's pretty unlikely. So be careful of that part of it. So I do believe that we are so ridiculously, overly politically correct, though. And there's a lot of shaming going on because somebody didn't know or said the wrong thing and said fight. And I think that's complete bullshit when they were in the right. They were being... They were trying. They were saying positive. The best they could. And because someone who's lived in that realm for their whole life, like you, they've been offended so many times, and that person doesn't even know they just offended them.
And this is the thing. I will say, even just in other conversations I've had, aging comes to mind also. There's oftentimes people will be like, oh, I can't believe I'm turning 50 and blah, 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 whatever that is. Yeah. And I just go like, man, I would have done anything to turn 50, and I'm so happy I did. And it's not, so I'm not attacking in any way. And a lot of times I can count at least, people that have said that changed my perspective on aging. Like that completely changed it. So it's not like I'm attacking people, for language. What I think I want is for women who are dealing with metastatic disease to, when they encounter a conversation that makes them feel like crap, to feel empowered to A, walk away, B, say something, C, go over it with your family later, like tell them why, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All of those
100%.
things, breast cancer is this disease also that, like you said, is so sexualized.
Yeah. And
we are willing, again, to cut off breast because, you know what, we'll just put some fake ones in there and pretend it's all normal. And that's not, it's only normal for people on the outside of it that feel okay about it. Yeah. There's nothing normal about these saline implants in my chest, right?
No.
So it's all of those things in terms of, there's a lot to process, right, with all of this. I think there's an added layer with breast cancer because of the sexual,
I agree.
Right, part of that. But
there's also another layer because it's 2024.
Yeah.
Compared to 2004 even.
Yes.
Compared to 1984.
Yeah.
we are a different country, at least if you're listening from America right now. We are a different country. I think 50% of the country is a different country right now when it comes to that stuff. Understanding or trying to understand someone else's viewpoint when it comes to anything is different now than it was 20 years ago.
Right. And I would say that we're also becoming very aware that like the options for women haven't kept up with any of that.
No.
You know?
It blows my mind that we still don't have a test for somebody in their 20s that really works.
I know.
For breast cancer. That really works.
Yeah.
We still got to stick a needle in and do a biopsy, which I get, that's how you confirm it. But I'm just talking about these pre-screening tests. Mammograms obviously don't work real well until, more fatty tissue is there and that can be seen through. Well, how in 2020? Star Trek did this a long time ago, I'm telling you. And they just went, and they did, what? Really?
I know.
You smart people need to do better. That's what I have to say. You engineers
listening?
And what are they called? What? These smart people. You need to develop that.
Doctors.
You'd save just so many people's lives when we get rid of this or try to prevent this metastatic part, and get these stage 1 cancers when they are very, very treatable.
But also be able to have them not become metastatic, right?
Well, usually when it's detected early, it usually doesn't. The statistics say at least that instance of it doesn't become metastatic. Now, could down the road, obviously. But early detection with any cancer is just ridiculously important.
Yeah.
It's at the site.
Yeah, again...
We suck at it.
We suck at it, and also we take really extreme measures sometimes, even with those early cancers.
Yeah,
and
we do.
And I kind of go, that's the best we got.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then as women, we just keep going. I'm not saying that men wouldn't just keep going, because men absolutely endure hard things and keep going. But sometimes I just think, when are we all just going to go, no, this is not okay?
People do. But it's the small percentage.
The other thing that's hard about that is, when you are dealing with something like metastatic breast cancer and not all of your advocates are going to be there for you, right? So the advocates need to be on the other side of that. So
true.
I think that's also kind of one of the things that feels another layer of heartbreaking with Shannon is that she did have, I think people were listening to her. Mm-hmm. And that's what, the community needs, because, it's a lot, I don't know. We can all do our part, but when you have a platform like that and can really bring it to the attention of other people. And yeah,
she can make a phone call and people will answer it. Whereas not a lot of people can, to the people who really are the policymakers and really are where the money's going, and that's just the truth.
Yeah. Oh. So, I don't know what the right answer is right now, but I guess what I also wanted to say was, when you're feeling anxious or it feels like this is a lot, again, it's take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. And that, if that means backing away from some things for a little while, that's okay. Or forever, or for the foreseeable future, right?
Well, yeah, not only is it okay.
It's the right thing.
You got to take care of that brain. The brain runs everything.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it also runs everything the other way. And that's the scary part about the brain.
Yeah.
It can spiral you down, which in turn controls your immune system. I feel like I'm just a broken record sometimes, but it does. It controls everything, and it's way more powerful than the leading professionals in the world understand. We do not. This is the organ that we have not mastered.
Yeah.
Have absolutely not mastered. We still making, come up with things that say the liver is responsible for, within the last 5 years. And like, wait, what? But the brain, there's a lot of stuff we don't understand about the brain. We understand the basic wiring and how neurons connect and how they, messages get sent. But what is consciousness and what is that and how do we feel that and that is all a mystery right now. And how does it control and can it control our body? That's a mystery.
Right.
But I just know there's more there than we understand. And I've just seen examples of how people who are just so oddly strong and positive and not positive.
I think it's more tuned
directed.
I think it's tuned in. I was thinking about this today when we were walking. Like, there's a huge difference to me about the wording. We've talked about this a little bit. If and when. So I will hear people say, when this drug stops working.
Yeah.
And I would never do that.
Sure.
That to me is like giving it permission, right? Or I don't know. And it just seems like such a little switch, but it's so important to me. Like,
do you also believe in, like we've heard today, speaking words into existence? Is that something you practice?
What do you mean?
I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to say it so much that it becomes
I believe that speaking out loud has more power than like even writing things down. I believe that to a certain extent. I also think that there's probably a little bit of like, I don't know enough to know. Maybe some of the things that I try to speak into existence were not meant to be, right? I don't know. But from a health perspective, I'm really careful. I am like kind of
when I say
attention.
speak, I don't necessarily mean out loud.
No, I know, but I do feel like I am paying attention to what I'm thinking, and I do feel like, oh, I can stop this. Or even just, this doesn't make me feel good. What's the counterpart to that? Or where I used to just kind of push through some of that stuff. This doesn't make me feel good. What would make it feel better? Is it, nope, none of that? Or is it, no, if something else happened along with it, whatever.
Can I look at it a different way?
Can I look at it a different way? Or even, I've been thinking about this a lot from like employment and things like that. Like, okay, what is going to make it go, oh yeah, then I'm good with it. And if that's not, or am I walking away? Mm-hmm. So, yep. But just those little words. And I think those are the kind of things that often come out of people's mouths so quickly, and even them asking things, what happens when, this happens? And it's like, you can even say, if that happens, we will have a backup plan or whatever. But I just tend to kind of always tune into that type of situation. And it's not like a correction, but I
think
do.
It's a really positive thing. I don't.
I always speak that out. And even you've said, like, we'll be talking about stuff and you will say if, and or on the other side of it, like something that we want, he'll say if, and I'll be like, when that happens.
Often.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just a little change in those things. But
it's, again, the brain controlling everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, be good to yourselves. Give yourself space if you need it. Figure out what you need. We need reviews.
If you've made it to the end of this thing and not just gone on to a real podcast, if you could please leave a review, that would be awesome.
And I love Glennon Doyle says, like, if you don't like it, don't do anything. That's fine.
Yeah.
Please.
Don't tell us how bad we suck. We know.
All right. We'll see you next week.
That's it.